How are you spending your Friday nights? Toasting your own marshmallows? Fire pit need rekindling? Come on, join us every Friday night at the fire pit, where our conversation really heats up.
It's time for Fire Pit Friday, the show for artists by artists. As always, your favorite hosts, Cece from the band Entropy 64 and Hype Man Rick from Not Just Country. Join us for conversation that's more hot. It's time for Fire Pit Friday.
Oh my goodness, tonight is so on fire.
I'm glad we got the fire going outside.
Man, welcome podcasters. I can't believe this. Tonight is our first night. Yes, in January 2008. I can't believe this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hot, it's smoking.
It is.
We've got all of our regular podcasters here, and then we have some really great guests. Okay, tonight our special guest, our honor, is Torry Martin. Torry Martin is fabulous, and wait till you get to meet him. He's the best person in the whole wide world, and I'm so honored he's on Fire Pit Friday. But he has like all of these friends. He like networks like crazy. Mm-hmm. Everything that we try to do as artists and we say we're going to do, but he really does it. So tonight I'm going to ask a lot of questions for Torry in regard to that.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Cynthia Nielsen is here tonight, and I cannot wait. Rick, I cannot wait. Miss Nielsen. All right. I would like to introduce right now Mr. Torry Martin. Everybody. And Ms. Cynthia Nielsen. Yes. Welcome to the Fire Pit.
We're glad to be here.
It's so
Delighted.
great to have you. Torry.
Yes.
Your resume goes on and on and on and on, but
75% made up, but thank you. I am a writer. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, can we just talk about the first time I saw you?
Okay.
It's pretty intimate.
I was stressed. Don't go the weird place.
All right, I was sitting at the 48-hour film festival
Okay.
in the Belcourt Theater, and I saw your performance on a movie that was directed by a friend of yours.
My good friend Ryan Hamblin.
Who is here tonight?
Yay, Ryan Hamlin!
Ryan is here tonight. And
then the director Pete Wade said, "Recruit that guy right there."
who is that man? He's a really good actor. Oh, he's funny. I mean, we were just doing, Pete and I were in the audience, and we were like talking, like, who is that? I recognized your co-host, who was actually sitting on the couch with your acting
Kenton
partner.
Foster.
I recognized him because we interviewed him here at the Fire Pit a year earlier.
Wow.
With his band, Velos. So I said, oh, okay, but who's that guy? He's good.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Thanks.
So that was the first time I saw you. And then, Mr. Pete Wade, go on to the second half.
And then I said, "We got to get this guy on our team because that's what Pete Wade's all about: recruiting."
And now
Right?
the
And
director's probably going, what are you talking about?
Yep.
What I meant to say was,
Yes.
I can explain.
Did you forget that Ryan is in here?
I wasn't stealing him; I was borrowing him.
When I was at the 48, I went out into the lobby in between, and a person you were doing a film about modeling, is that right?
Right.
Who it wasn't you, was somebody else talked to me and said, "You've got to meet Pete Wade." And I'm like, I don't know who Pete Wade is, and that's how.
And
meanwhile, I'm telling Cece, I got to
Yes.
meet Torry Martin. So.
Right.
Is that weird?
So actually, like Nashville is, and we were kind of talking earlier, right, Cynthia, about we're all like 1 degree apart in Nashville. We're all networking in the same circles and kind of working on really great independent projects, but we all can help each other out.
Yeah.
And it's not about, even though Pete's making a joke of it, it's more like when you see talent and when you just want to cultivate it. So you want to kind of go in all different directions. So
That's
was the first
exactly
one.
our philosophy completely. Is the power of
Yay.
networking.
Right.
And there's more
Yeah.
strength in numbers. And you want to surround yourself with talented people because you just sharpen each other. As iron sharpens iron, you help each other become better at your skill.
I agree.
And rather than looking at everyone as competition,
Which a lot of people
you
do.
know,
Right,
if
which-
you band
yeah.
together and you work together, as a unit, you get further along.
Right.
You know, and as one person progresses, someone else moves up in their space.
Right.
Absolutely.
I actually had a
Yep.
person talk to me about creating competition when I said I was working on some other projects. But they're like, "Aren't you worried that you're creating your own competition?" And I was like, "No, I'm not creating my competition. We're creating your competition."
Because we're on the same
Team, exactly.
Yeah, and you know, we, I mean, that was the whole point of Fire Pit Friday. We're artists for artists.
Exactly.
So we know that if we can share whatever knowledge that we have, and then we can pull it together, we're just going to become invincible. I mean, as, you know, a team. So that's how it works. Music, film, whatever craft, whatever kind of artist you are, you have to do that. You have to do that, because otherwise you just get stagnant.
That's where Cynthia and I have been actually talking about having show us what you got parties, because we know people like Garrison Wells, who's the editor of National Business Journal, who's also a poet, knows
Garrison's not
jujitsu.
here tonight,
No.
folks, just to let you know, but he
Sick.
was
But
invited,
he's
so let's
absolutely-
say get
Yes.
better,
Garrison,
Garrison,
get better.
get
He really missed the boat by getting sick tonight, but he'll be here another time. But anyways, we want to have a show us what you got party where we have different filmmaker friends can show the films that they're working on. Actors can show us their
Network.
latest monologue. I can read some of the
Yeah.
latest humor columns, and then we've got musician friends that we want to hear their latest songs, some poets, and just have that fun networking thing. And then I thought, well, Cynthia's a stunt woman. She'll be the grand finale. We'll set her on fire and throw her down the
Throw me
stairs.
down the stairs.
Cynthia!
He loves me.
So have you ever been on fire, and a scary fire?
I would have to say getting set on fire in any condition
Is
is
scary fire.
Yeah.
'Cause I thought,
You
well,
know.
we're at the fire pit. We will not
Yeah,
do that
okay.
to
Don't
you.
throw me in the fire.
But the
pit.
candle's so close is tempting to me.
You want to fling me on there. The hair.
No. So tell me about it.
Getting set on fire?
Yeah.
Well, I don't do stunts anymore. I don't want to say I'm retired because that makes me sound even older than the fossil that I am, but
She just has brittle bones now. But that doesn't mean old.
Tori.
hey, you
She
know,
does not have brittle bones.
I could flip you right across the
Sensitive.
I know. Seriously, she could hit my bottom so many different ways, anywhere but a competitive eating contest. I'd take you. I would take you.
I don't know.
I will.
I don't know.
But I would probably take
But-
Torry though, because I'm a notorious eater.
You know,
Nobody
that
can
should
do.
be
He is.
very
Nobody.
possibly your next fire
There you
pit
go.
thing.
Do you want to do
An
that?
eating contest.
You and me.
All right.
I'm not afraid. I'm not
Nobody.
shaking.
Nobody did.
All right, folks, you heard it
Talk
here.
about me
It's the
for a
challenge.
minute.
Yeah, let's talk
All right,
about knees
let's
and
talk
heels.
about me for a minute.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank
Hannibal Lecter, The Associate, 12 Monkeys, Body Snatchers, The Dark Half, Jacob's Ladder, Tune In Tomorrow, King of New York.
that's some good stuff.
Oh, did I drop anything? Let me pick it up. Perfect Witness.
What?
That was
All these
some
old
creepy stuff.
chestnuts. It's like, plus I was the queen of the soaps for a long time in New York. Anytime a character got pregnant, my mother called me, and I knew 6 weeks later I was falling down the stairs because they always fell down the stairs and lost the baby.
Oh,
That's
no.
awful.
And then your face got eaten?
By Hannibal Lecter.
That's not
See,
funny.
I'd even beat you on that one.
That's not funny.
Wow.
I was one of the first
see.
few people that actually they showed Hannibal Lecter attacking. Actually, yeah, yeah. Originally, it was going to be my tongue. Then they changed it to my face. Yeah, yeah.
You know what? I think that is so cool and impressive, and a stunt woman. Oh my gosh, the epitome of the strong woman.
Well, you know, when I started doing it, there weren't that many women doing stunts. I'm from New York. A lot of the few stunt women that really did a lot of movies lived in California. The ones that lived in New York, we were a handful. And men still dressed as women doing stunts. It was hideous.
to do the horse stunts.
Hideous. So they started like testing equipment on me because my ex-husband was a stunt coordinator at the time. He's a second unit director now, but and I kept telling people he's trying to kill me. But I kept getting back up, and he said, "Well, we might as well make money at it." So, you know, and I started doing a lot of the soap opera. You know, they do One Life to Live, All My Children, As the World Turns, and I doubled everybody, whether they were 3 feet tall or 6 feet tall, because it was
Wow.
always just hair falling down the stairs, or, you know, like tumble, 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 or falling into the bay, or, you know, and, you know, it just, from there, now there's a lot of women that do it, and a lot of stunts now are very high tech, you know. I sound so old when I
Tell
say
me about the One Life to Live one.
No.
Oh, I almost got killed doing a stunt on One Life to Live.
What
So,
happened?
it really almost was one life.
One life
to live.
to
That's
live.
it. Over.
Cynthia,
But,
what happened?
We went on location, which is unusual for a soap, but I was going to get hit by a car, which I knew I was
Okay,
going to
that's
get hit by a
dangerous.
car, you know. And some guy loaned them his Ferrari, which you never do. And he waxed it that day and didn't tell anybody. And I had a fur coat on.
Oh.
And we were outside and it was November. And I'm looking at the car. I said, wow, that car's really shiny.
Wow.
I don't think I'm going to push off very hard. And the stunt woman driving the car drove toward me. And I didn't push off. Good thing I didn't. I went so fast up the hood of the car that my head went through the windshield.
Oh,
And it
no.
flipped me down sideways fast enough for her to run me over with the car. She literally ran over me. The good thing was, because I had a fur coat on, I had every pad I owned on. I had football pads on and everything.
wow.
And they took me in an ambulance, which I really was okay, but I hit my head on the ground, so I kind of numbed up a little bit. And I hear them in the hospital going, 300-pound woman got hit by a car. And I'm like, wow. You know, what a coincidence. You know?
Wow.
It was the car.
It was me.
And the Patty.
Like, don't cut my pads. Where is she in there? You know, but yeah.
Wow.
And then like 2 days later, I had to fly to Pittsburgh to do this Stephen King movie called The Dark Half, where I had to get flipped around on a cable. And I remember going in there and I had a knot like the size of a fist on the back of my head, and they couldn't get the wig on my head. Like, how do we get it off?
Because you're still recovering.
Because I had this big, huge knot on the back of my head. But that was, yeah, you know, so I mean, stunts for the most part are very safe, very planned, very rehearsed, and they always do them at the end of the day in case they're going to kill a stunt person.
Wow.
Like, they don't ruin the whole day of shooting, you know. But, yeah. But I stopped doing it. You know, after that happened, I started really being choosy about what I did because I was afraid I would start to hesitate, you know, and...
That's something to
Well, how
think
did you get
about.
into casting? Was stunt woman first and then
No.
casting?
I was a
and then-
casting director first. Well, first I was an actor when I was a kid, and then I got into casting, and that's when I first moved to New York. I was in casting. One of the first things I ever worked on was Trading Places.
Oh, yeah.
Dan Aykroyd and
Dan-
Eddie
Eddie
Murphy.
Murphy,
yeah.
Eddie Murphy he was on Saturday Night Live, which we did a lot of stunts on Saturday Night Live. That was insane.
That probably
that
was
crazy?
great.
That
I
was
would
crazy.
love to be a
Can you
fly on the
imagine?
wall.
I bet you guys would
Oh,
love
That was
my gosh.
The stunts went on behind the scenes. I was like, wowza. But anyway, yeah, and Eddie Murphy was real quiet and shy, and in the middle of that movie, he got a 6-picture deal and all of a sudden had an entourage and was insane. But
Wow.
yeah, and I did casting for a while in New York, and
Have you discovered anybody?
yeah, well, actually, Greg Kinnear used to do
Really?
extra work for us. Yeah, Greg Kinnear.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was he auditioning for when you knew him? Just extra work or?
Yeah, you
or
know, we
speaking
did.
roles?
Tori's asking more questions than you
I'm
guys.
glad. No,
No,
I'm
that's
glad.
good.
Go ahead.
That's good, yeah.
So tell us.
He's very pushy.
No, this is the fire
I'm a writer.
pit.
This stuff
It's
is
very
interesting to me. I
casual.
use it. You
Keep
know?
asking.
I forgot. You know what? We did a lot of TV shows and stuff then, like The Equalizer. I know that's like another antique show.
Oh, it's a
Back-
classic.
It wasn't The Equalizer great.
Oh, it's great,
It was
yeah.
great. It was a great show. Just
Yeah.
like ran out of steam.
Yep.
You know?
Wow.
But and he did some little like lawyer thing on there. Then about 2 years later, I got blown up on that show. So yeah, no,
On The
it was all
Equalizer?
full circle.
Can you imagine the
yeah.
memorabilia at Cynthia's house?
Oh my gosh.
Hey, I have my pod from Body Snatchers.
Really?
You know, yeah, the pod that I had to pick up that I turned into. I had.
You have that?
Wow.
kept my.
Did they do a
pod.
mold of you?
Yeah.
Are you like molded? I don't know if they actually did molds.
No. This was just like the pod that was
pod.
growing in the swamp. Yeah, it was the
Oh
only time
my
I ever almost
gosh.
quit.
You
cool
are
is that?
so
In
interesting.
a swamp in Alabama with a helicopter right above you with that rotor wash, and it was freezing cold. And I remember thinking, if I trip and fall, maybe I'll get bitten by something and have to go to the hospital. Out of water. It was horrible. And then they called RAP. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I was like, oh, thank goodness, because I was like the only woman in the water.
Wow.
And I turned and I tripped and fell over a root and went underwater.
That's
so I
scary.
got like drenched. Yeah. It was
Oh my
horrifying.
gosh. So of all the now you've done so much. So this is going to be a broad question, but can you think of any moments where you were just in awe? I cannot believe I'm doing this. This is just amazing to me. And opportunity wise, because everybody comes from here and they go there. Tell us your most memorable something that you really
Well, you know, like I said, my ex-husband's a second unit director, so I mean, I got to go on sets like Gladiator, Black Hawk Down, you know. I mean,
How
so,
cool.
So to
Did you
say
do anything
that,
on Gladiator? Any
yeah,
stunt work?
but and we did a lot of horse training. I have horses, and we have stunt
love
horses.
horses.
But honestly, the coolest thing that I ever did, and it was a horrible movie. There were these movies called Basket Case. They were like really bad horror films that a friend of ours shot. Really bad.
Independent.
Yeah,
Okay.
independent, but horrible movies. But I was getting a tattoo about 8 years ago, and the guy had a poster there, and it was from Basket Case 2, and I said, I'm in that movie. And he was I was like, wow. They had to attach this alien to my stomach, and I had to do a high fall out of the top of this house. And halfway down in the high fall, which is pretty quick, the alien fell off. It fell off my stomach. I'm trying to grab the alien as I'm falling in the shot. And if you look at the shot, you can see me trying to hang on
grab
to
the alien.
Wow.
But when I was doing that, I was thinking, this is the most bizarre. Standing on the roof of a building with an alien sticking out of my stomach, waiting for them to yell action. You know, so I could go
Only
through the
independent.
window.
Let's talk
Yeah.
about independent movies.
No,
I
Torry
mean,
and I met at a screenwriting class.
Yep.
And believe it or not, for all that he's written,
Okay.
and you have to really talk about some of his.
yeah, I
you know,
want to. His
because
work.
he's like he disappeared to Alaska forever for a
Uh-huh.
while,
Yeah.
and the state will never be the same. You know, but we met at a screenwriting class, and for all he's written and all I've done, we took it because we had to learn how to color inside the lines.
Yeah.
The business is really a very formula business now. It's not like the old days where they didn't even have pages, they just went and shot. You know, now it's like you have to follow the rules, and
Okay.
we had to learn how to follow the rules, and that's where we met.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, the other thing about is you should never stop sharpening your skills as a writer, nor as an actor. If you're an actor, you should always be in a class.
Right.
You should always be training to keep your skills sharpened. So I got seated right next to Cynthia. There was 12 of us in the class, and it was like this. I was like, "Hi, I'm Torry Martin." She's like, "Hi, I'm Cynthia Nielsen." I was like, "So what kind of stuff do you write?" She goes, "Doesn't matter. I hate men." And I was like, "I hate women. This is awesome."
So
Don't hate women.
it was a match made in heaven. It was
weird. It was
I
like-
hate men, he hates
we were
women.
both funny, both witty, both sarcastic, both intelligent. One was classy. She's still working on it. But aside from that, we had so much everything in
He's
common.
leaving off a tiny piece of it. You know, now I have a lot of hair, so it got hot in there in the class, and I put my hair in a ponytail on top of my head, and I'm being very serious, taking notes, and I look out of the corner of my eye, and he has put his hair
Up the same.
in like a
But
pebble
12
thing.
people
He
who don't
was
know me
making-
that I'm just
yeah.
joking, they thought that's the weirdest
Yeah.
fat guy you've ever met. And all I was thinking was, oh, I hope she's impressed. I hope she
And I
likes me.
looked at him and I said, I so get you.
Yes.
I so get you. And after that, we
That's
were like
true.
the bad kids in the class forever. We got so much trouble.
Yeah.
But it was great.
But you know how hard it is and rare it is to find people who do get you? Like Ryan Hamblin,
Yes.
when he was my director on 48 Hour Project,
Right.
Ryan is one of the few people who got me instantly. I totally connected with him, respected him as a director, the way he communicated, and his heart, and he didn't think I was weird.
Ryan,
Or
what
if
did
he
you
did,
think
he
of
kept it to
Torry? What
himself.
did you think of Torry?
He's a pretty weird guy.
Yeah.
I'm a really weird guy too, and I wasn't the only director on that project. I was primarily the DP and co-directed with a couple other friends.
Yeah, Jeremy
Wayne-
Mazza,
yeah,
who's
Jeremy
extremely
Mazza,
talented. He worked
and
on Tuckerville.
Eric,
Oh.
his roommate. And they're all really cool kids. They tend to do sound and not directing and stuff, but they're really cool kids. And I'm waiting for a project to get to just totally direct. Torry.
That would be
But
a
yeah,
blast.
he was a weird kid
Have you
like
seen?
me,
Did you see
so-
the Heinz commercial that we did?
No,
Oh,
I did direct that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. I did direct. Torry.
I want to see it.
it's really, really funny.
Where can you see it?
You
What
can see it on YouTube. You
Okay.
can see the 48 Hour
Is it still
Project
up
is
there?
BZZZT
Okay.
on
And
YouTube.
then you can see all my work.
Yeah, all Ryan stuff.
Where,
Oh,
where,
there.
Ryan? Where's your work? Where can the podcasters go?
RRProductions.com or ALRRP.com. So just to plug myself, but yeah, check out.
Yeah, the Heinz
all
commercial
his
is really
stuff.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, really funny.
That is
Cool.
awesome. That is so. You'd work with him again.
Oh, for sure. He's a really great guy. He's one of the most genuine, honest, nice people that I've ever met. Like anybody who's ever met him, if you're
His
not,
head is so big already, Ryan. Why?
Yeah, but that's all fat. Not
It's
ego.
all- you have to try really hard to not be afraid.
What? I mean, a guy coming from Alaska. I mean, that is like you had a moose in your kitchen.
I did. I never feed a moose through your kitchen window, no matter how friendly they appear. They will get their antlers stuck and destroy your window frame.
You were
trying
just
to get
trying
out.
to be nice, though,
Man.
I
correct?
saw them all the time. You know, leave stuff on the trail. You come up to the window, toss them out, and it's like it's like training a rat. You know, they get closer and more trusting, then they're eating out of your hand, and you're like, I'm like, Rob, how cool would it be if we got the moose's head in the window? And I'm feeding him. Would that make the best picture
That is
ever?
great.
So I'm like holding the carrot, and the moose is like chopping. Rob goes flash, and the moose goes rah! Starts wicking out of the window frame, and
So is that how you got Torry Moose?
I left that, and I was trying to support myself, and I started collecting moose. I became a camp host for Alaska State Parks, and I started collecting moose droppings. And I made moose nugget jewelry that they sold in the Anchorage gift shop.
I read that.
I made
I
tie
saw it.
and ear-
Really?
Yeah, I almost,
Would
because
you
she's
wear
a,
it?
She's a
He
New York
tried
Society.
to get me. New York
I tried to get her to
Society,
wear it here tonight. I'm like, it's loner jewelry.
Yeah, loaner jewelry. You know, like
They'll
they
be
do,
impressed.
like they do at the red carpet. And who are your jewels
You have
by?
to rent
Some
it.
moose up in Alaska.
Torry Moose Martin.
Oh, where did
Yeah.
you get your moose droppings?
Yeah,
Oh,
lovely.
that's so lovely.
They don't
They're-
look like dark diamonds. Okay?
No,
just
no.
trust me.
You can't
But it was-
polish that turd, huh?
No.
No, you just actually you can, but you have to wait until after you bake them and tie them out and shellac. But you have to thread them while they're wet, or the needle
You
won't
bake
go through.
the poop.
So you wear gloves,
Wow.
yes. And I got fired from the camp host part because I was also trying to supplement my income by making homemade cookies for the hikers and stuff, the natural cookies.
Torry, you're
And
baking
the ranger
poop and
came by-
cookies.
The ranger came by to drop me off some moose droppings that he had picked up for me because I was making them. And I had just finished baking the cookies, and I gave him a bag of cookies, and I put the moose droppings right on the cookie sheet, and I put it right back in the oven. He's like, "Are you using the same cookie sheet for the cookies as you have for the moose droppings?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "You're fired. That's a health hazard. You're gonna be counting everybody in this camp." And I'm like, "Well, I'm still selling it." And that was the end of that.
Now you know why he can't step foot in Alaska
man.
anymore. There's like a, like one of those Ghostbusters things with the red line threads. Yeah.
No, you don't sell your moose droppings anymore, correct?
No. Because now I'm in the South, and the cows are just too big and clunky.
Cow pie medallions. Can you imagine the huge earrings you could make with those?
Spinner poo.
It could be on.
Torry, that is amazing.
was
I love
fun.
that. I love your creative mind. You're
fun.
just so creative.
And my friend Raquel Dunn is here also, who's a producer. She's here. She knows this
Hi,
story.
Raquel.
Hi,
She's a
Raquel.
producer for the 700 Club.
Yes, she's amazing. She's awesome.
Your website, your TorryMartin.com
Yeah,
website.
yeah.
Is that where you were talking about your toilet?
My Incinelate toilet.
There you go.
Yeah, it's an electric toilet. Do you guys know what
Yeah.
an Incinelate toilet
Yeah.
is?
Yeah.
You have to order these wax papers from Texas. It's a metal toilet and would be upstairs, and it's vented outside. And let me tell you, when you run out of those wax papers, you're like, "Come on, Texas!" Because it took like forever to get those boxes of toilet things shipped up to you. And so you're like using coffee filters and paper towels, and it's just faster. But you stand up after you do your business, and you step on this pedal thing, and it drops down inside, and then you just turn a dial, and it burns. And I've always been sort of an optimist, so I tried to think of it as a toilet and a potpourri in one. A really stinky potpourri. You don't want to garden outside with somebody's twisted the toilet inside. And then once a week, you would just empty the ashes. And we always emptied ours in our garden. One year we had cabbages like about this big.
Really?
Seriously.
I guess it would be really good fertilizer.
But we did not eat them.
Oh,
We did make
okay.
homemade sauerkraut and send it to the relatives we didn't like for dinner. It's like Merry Christmas from the cabin.
Merry Christmas.
They didn't know.
They will now.
They
This
will.
is just-
No, they don't listen to the podcast. No.
Okay. Ask Cynthia something now.
Cynthia, have you been invited to dinner over to Torry's house?
Yes, and now I am never eating there again.
We had coleslaw the other day.
Yeah, I would have had my shots if I had known. No, actually, Torry is a really, really good cook.
Is he?
In fact, I have gained like 6 pounds.
Oh,
in, like,
'cause
3
he's a
weeks
really
from
good
going to his-
cook.
Yeah, he's great. He sends me a menu the day before. You
And give
know,
her her
and
choice.
yeah.
We have probably one of the most unusual writing team relationships because I've got this beautiful office that, by the way, is featured in this month's edition of At Home Tennessee Magazine.
Let's talk about that really
Okay.
quick too.
Okay.
Okay, you are featured
Yes.
in an article in the Nashville.
At Home Tennessee
At Home,
Magazine,
okay.
page 44 of the
There it is.
January issue.
Not that he remembers
Yeah.
that.
No,
And
page
the
44.
TV show Splurge, this is so wild. TV show Splurge for the Fine Living Network sent their host Wendy Walsh out. She's interviewed everyone from Tom Cruise to Arnold Schwarzenegger and works for E! and everything, and it's Dr. Wendy Walsh. And she picks one home out of the 3 that they feature, and she selected mine. So the Fine Living Network came and they did my office, and I was like, Rob, is this too weird?
Oh, that's so
It's 3
cool.
years ago.
Everybody
We were
go pick up.
burning
pick
paper
up.
towels in a toilet. Now we're on the Fine Living Network. Is that wild?
Well, it is. I think it's great. I think
was
it's
just
great.
Oh, his
the
office
weirdest
is
thing.
really cool, but we don't write in there.
No, we
We
hang out
have to be near the kitchen.
because
you
it's
know.
closer to the fridge.
Yeah, so he can
Creative
cook.
juices flowing.
Yeah, he can cook and I can eat, and he paces and cooks, and I type and eat. And,
It's like she's on one side of the desk just typing her little fingers off, and we're talking, and I'm on the other side of the table chopping vegetables, making stew or whatever.
It sounds like the chemistry between the two of you. I can't wait to read some of your masterpieces
We're having
because
the
it's
best
going to
time.
be
we're
just
having a really good time,
fantastic.
and we get each other's sense of humor. It's not that our senses of humor are the same because they're really not, but we get each other, and that's really important.
It's
Yeah.
so
If you didn't, you know,
important.
and I think we.
And there's no ego.
No.
When it comes to writing, I've written with other writers who get really protective of their work. I'm sure you worked with other directors who get really protective of what they're doing when it comes down to the editing process.
Yeah,
And they don't want any input from anywhere else. You're like,
Right.
no, stay away.
right.
There's no ego. All we care about is the best story. What makes the story best? And what's really neat is we're separate writers. Cynthia writes tons of stuff on her own. I write on my own. But we create the third voice when we come together. And that third voice is so strong because it's her, me, and a combination of the two.
Right.
So you get to write more rounded characters because you're bouncing off of.
And some days we really crank it out, and then other days we just eat. It's
Yeah.
great.
I mean, like a day up and be like, we wrote 11 pages today. And I'm like, yeah, but we had 3 pieces of pistachio delight.
Yeah.
Wasn't that good?
No, well, you have to do moments like that because
Yeah.
actually that would be a great bonding. You know, another time to bond, another time to have share experiences, so that your next writing session you just get closer and closer.
Well, and then the other thing, Cynthia, how far do you have to drive to come out to my house to write?
Well, I live in Gordonsville, so
About an hour and a
Yeah,
half, hour
yeah.
20. And, so that's almost 3 hours of driving for her. By the time she got home after writing, she still has 2 beautiful teenage kids, talented teenage, and has to do the mom thing.
Yeah.
And cook there too. So we sort of worked out a balance like, you drive out and we could either split the gas or I could cook dinner for your family and send
Wow.
it home with
Yeah,
you. So
so
that works
isn't
out.
that
She
great?
That's great.
She goes
no,
home.
I
I'm
think
gonna
that's
just
great.
work it into him coming home and cleaning my house.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, that- yeah. Yeah, but Torry's office, you really do have to get that magazine because it
Okay.
is the coolest thing. Because the whole thing is themed on
Comic
books,
Okay.
and it is awesome.
That
It's-
is great.
And I guess I'm not allowed to work in there because I've not done it yet.
She is. She is, totally. But we're just out in the kitchen. It seems so small. You can't really pace in there.
Yeah, and then he has all his animals, and it's like a little zoo there. So
Oh.
yeah, it's fun.
Oh, my
And
goodness.
you know, really honestly, when I met Torry, because we were in a class with very talented people, you know, a lot of times people think, oh, you go to these classes and it's all beginners. That wasn't the case. In our class, there was a lot of talent in there, and it was really worthwhile doing. And when I met him, I was like, you know what? I like this guy, and I think you have to like the person that you're going to write with.
Oh, yeah.
You know. Now we could end up, 6 months from now hating each other, but I can beat him up, so I'm not worried about it. But as we're writing, we get other ideas for other things, and we both also agree, and we really do, that you are only as strong. And I've said this to Ryan and to Josh. You're only as strong as your weakest link. So if you surround yourself with really strong links,
Exactly.
then as a unit, you're really strong.
Exactly.
And coming here from New York, I really thought that the film business in Nashville would be much larger. That
Oh,
there
you
would
did?
I did. I think that in this town there's so much talent, and yet there's
There
so
is.
many
Yeah,
people
yeah.
going in opposite directions
Yes.
and so
Or
afraid
being
of
really
each other.
protective and not
Oh, so
Yeah.
glad you
to
said
understand
that.
So
that.
afraid of each other,
Yes.
like, oh, this person might get, and that is not the way this works.
It's the kiss of death.
right.
Well, let's talk about Sparkle and Tudor.
Josh Shreves was my director of photography on that.
Hi, Josh.
Hi.
Hey.
And he was a huge find. The day that I first met him, I got to look at some pictures that he had. We were underneath a picnic table, and he had done all these pictures from the days when I wasn't filming there. And just based on the photography, I was like, this guy is really talented. I can't wait to see what he does with the moving camera.
Yeah.
And then he again turned out to be a genuine soul, truly nice man, and extremely talented. But tell him a little bit more about what you're doing now, and Sparkle and Tudor.
Well, I started out in Oklahoma actually, and then moved out to Nashville about 5 months ago. It was actually in Sparkle and Tudor was the first movie I worked on when I came out of here. But Yeah, that's where I met Torry, and first thing I noticed about Torry was how much he was into the role he was playing, the character.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really remember the director ever giving him any direction because he was just playing the part so good, and it's hilarious. Got the footage back all developed, and it looks great. But right now they're cutting the movie together, and so I wanted to cut together a quick little teaser trailer to send out to all the crew. So I sent it out, and they got to see some of the footage. We didn't have any dailies on the movie, so it took a while before we got to see some of the stuff.
It's
Right.
really good.
But it turned out
good.
really great, so I'm really excited. I can't wait to see how the whole movie turns out.
Oh,
I
that's
got to play. Can I
awesome.
talk about what I got?
Oh, yeah,
I got to
sure.
play. I tried to seduce a young woman on a boat, and she pulls a gun on me, and I think she's into S&M type stuff. So I get to strip down to my red Union long johns. I'm
Yes.
like, oh yeah, baby, let's go. And
It's
it's just
quite
like
a
in the
sight.
water. It was just totally funny. It's just crazy. But yeah, I guess, once anybody sees me in my red long john, they're a friend for life.
Yeah. I feel like you really know.
And there's another independent film director producer, Neil Gowan, who's sitting here on, and I want to say give a shout out to Neil. I helped Neil. I supervised his music for his last independent movie that he did, and he moved from Neil. Tell us where you're from originally.
Well, the film was produced in Arkansas. That's where I spent my 4 years of college there, and I actually grew up overseas as well. I grew up in Ecuador. And after, graduating high school down there, I went up to Arkansas, went to school there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a certain type of film that you like to do? Do you have a certain genre that's your favorite?
Totally into drama.
Drama.
The serious,
Make you think.
meaty stuff.
Yeah.
That's
That
what
Well,
leaves-
I'm
that-
meaty,
that
but
leaves-
not so much serious.
That leaves you out to it.
But I'm wearing all black, so I'm clearly drama.
Do you think you could find a role for Torry?
Here's your sandwich, ma'am. That's all I need. I'm happy after
You know
that.
what? That's great.
Yeah.
But you know what? With the music community and the film community working together,
Yeah.
wow, we can make super things happen.
We started just I started creating little network nights. And I was like, Cynthia, you got to meet Josh. Josh, you got to meet Cynthia.
Yes.
Cynthia, you got to meet Ryan. Ryan, you got to
Yep.
meet Ryan. You got to meet Garrison. And now he's going
Yes.
to be the spotlight of the Rising Star, the Nashville Business Journal.
Woohoo!
Rising Star for his company. Once again, a Little R&R Productions.
Little R&R Productions. Yes, I
And
want
Raquel,
everybody to
Raquel,
plug
my
their
producer
site.
from the 700 Club.
Yes.
What a heart of gold and a super talent that woman is. And so anytime you have an opportunity like this,
Yes.
you invite all your
Everybody.
friends because they
Yeah.
need to meet you, Neil.
Yeah.
And they need
No
to meet.
doubt.
Oh, Shannon, I know you now. Shannon, you're a nurse, right? See, good. That's another networking because I got a goiter later.
Don't ask. Don't ask to see it.
Oh my gosh. Look, hey, I am honored that you're here tonight. I think you're super talented. I think that you have this wonderful spirit. And I am going to look forward to more Torry Martin in Nashville, Tennessee.
Well, we're gonna do a lot
Yeah.
of stuff. Look for both of us, all of us,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
all of us.
All of us.
Can we do an experiment? Can we kind of agree to have the same people meet 1 year later and see what we've done, how we've helped each other,
Sure.
and what's happened in Nashville with just the
Here we
connections
go.
right
Yeah,
here?
we'll see everybody January 2009.
That's a great
Excellent.
idea.
Right here.
Should I wear the
And we'll
moose
keep each
jewelry?
other accountable
Yeah.
and encouraged.
I love that. I love that idea.
I'll wear the moose jewelry.
Yes.
Well, Cece,
All right, well, let's
I
go.
think it's-
We're running out of time. We're getting
Wrap it up.
the 2-minute wrap here. But before we do, I would like everyone to plug what they're doing. If you have a website.
we really don't have that much. We need to wrap this up right now.
Okay, let's go around the
cut you off.
room. Where can the podcasters go to see you? Cynthia, where can
Well,
they
I'm
go?
really right now just actively writing with Torry. I don't have a website or
Okay.
anything right now.
TorryMartin.com, TorryMartin.com. And if you want to see my office, go to myspace.com/Torry Martin.
ALRRP.com is the easiest way to find our stuff.
Just look me up on MySpace. My name is Trevelin, and so Trevalin.
Neil says move on. Of course, we're going to have links to all of those addresses on firepitfriday.com, and we are wrapping up for the night. And I just want to say I love everyone in this room,
Yay.
and I've got to say goodnight. I love you all. Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you for being guests on Fire Pit Friday.
Thanks for listening to Fire Pit Friday. Hope you had fun with CC, Rick, and the entire gang. Tune in next time for some more fun. We'll keep the fire high. This is Power Mustafa Coyote, liking girls and signing out. Yeah!